So Sony has rejected Days Gone 2 and an Uncharted remake and instead has chosen to spend time on a Last of Us remake for the PS5. I love The Last of Us as much as the next guy, and it's one of my favorite games ever. But I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard anyone saying, man, the next game that needs to get a remake for the PS5 definitely needs to be The Last of Us. I don't understand why it already needs a remake and takes priority over Uncharted or Days Gone 2. Like maybe a quick little remaster over to the PS5, just like they did with the PS4, but an entire remake? The game still looks and plays great, and even the original PS3 version still hangs in there. Like I get it if you want to implement some of those Last of Us 2 mechanics that you have in there over to the original, but I don't think it's that important to have those over an Uncharted remake or Days Gone 2. Well, the reason that they're going to remake The Last of Us over those two games are money! And Sony basically admitted that much. Back in 2019, Ben Studio pitched an idea for Days Gone 2, and they said no. They said that Days Gone took too long of a time to develop, and that when it released, it didn't do very good with critics, which is a whole separate issue because the average player liked Days Gone. Probably the biggest reason it was even controversial at first was because it was a buggy mess, almost to the Cyberpunk 2077 level. Not to mention that it released just a few months after Red Dead Redemption 2 and during the same week as Mortal Kombat 11. But still, most people that actually played Days Gone liked it. For some reason, the companies like IGN, who gave it a 6.5, didn't like it, probably because they couldn't figure out how to even hold a controller. And what's sad is that people still listen to those big companies like IGN, so then the corporate people at Sony kiss their ass mostly because it affects the sales and stocks. And then by the way, I'll have all my sources to all of this info down in the description in case you want to go read it for yourself. Most of it came from Jason Schreier. There's also a petition that's been going around lately that's also down in the description, basically trying to get Sony to okay Days Gone 2. So after getting rejected, Ben Studio, the devs for Days Gone, were split up into two teams to help Naughty Dog. One to help with Naughty Dog's multiplayer game, which of course that was fine because multiplayer games are what makes more money, and then the other portion of Ben Studio was going to help out Naughty Dog with an Uncharted game. Eventually that fizzled out though because Ben Studio was scared of being absorbed by Naughty Dog, so they asked to be taken off of that Uncharted game, and they were. So yeah, Ben Studio is now working on a new game, which is not Days Gone 2, and to add on to that, two of those people who've been with the company since basically forever, since long before Sony even bought Ben Studio and who were there for Days Gone, game director Jeff Ross and writer and director John Agar both resigned from Ben Studio. Jeff Ross actually responded to all of this by saying that he's not allowed to respond to it. I think the most annoying part of all of this though is the fact that an unannounced studio also pitched an idea to remake Uncharted, which is way more in need of a remake than The Last of Us, and they were reportedly denied because it would be too expensive and need too much design work. Yet The Last of Us is fine getting one because it's obviously not going to take much money because it doesn't even need a remake. That also probably tells us that the remake is not going to change a whole lot because it's going to cost little enough to where it doesn't matter to Sony. Yet remaking Uncharted would. And then on top of all of that, Sony also shut down their Japan studio, which was behind a lot of their games such as Knack. So while there's still a chance we'll get Days Gone 2 somewhere down the road, as well as an Uncharted remake, it's not going to be anytime soon as Sony and Naughty Dog have felt it's more beneficial to remake The Last of Us. On the upside though, we are getting some type of Uncharted sequel. It just sucks that they're really only caring about these bigger games. With The Last of Us Remake, they probably just took a look at Bethesda and Skyrim and thought, that's some easy money. Those just happen to be way more profitable because of microtransactions. I mean, look at Rockstar. They still haven't said anything about GTA 6 or Red Dead Redemption 2 DLC, despite Red Dead Redemption 2 being one of the biggest single-player games ever. Because why would they when they can add a flying motorcycle to GTA 5 and make the same amount of money pretty much? But yeah, let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about all of this. I personally love Days Gone. I thought the gameplay was awesome, and a lot of open world games that has good gameplay doesn't have a whole lot of story to it usually, but Days Gone actually did. Also let me know down in the comments if you're happy that we're getting a Last of Us remake, or if you would rather them focus on something else. And also how you guys feel about the Days Gone 2 news. But don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be covering more of this if any more news comes out. See ya.